Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. Today it's the longest day of the year, so I'll just show you now the time. You can see there it's just past 9 o'clock. Just refresh it there to get the latest time. So it's just 1 minute past 9 at the moment, and it's still bright daylight here. I'm not as far north as where I used to live, which was actually 58 degrees north, which is what I've named the channel after, but I'm in Edinburgh at the moment. So it's still quite far north, and as you can see, it's still bright sunshine, 9 PM, and it's still bright light. I'll quickly cut now to 10 o'clock so you can see how dark it is later on. But yeah, you can see at 9 o'clock it's still bright sunlight. The sun is starting to get a bit dimmer, but it still looks like midday almost. So that's 9 o'clock on the longest day in Scotland. So as you can see, it's now 23 minutes past 10 in the evening, and there's still quite a lot of light outside. Hopefully it's picking up okay on the camera. You can see it's definitely not night time yet. The sky's still blue. It's dark outside, but it's not. It's definitely still twilight. You know, you can still go outside. You wouldn't need a torch or anything. It's still quite bright. Street lamps have come on, but as you can see, the street lamps are a lot duller than the actual daylight. The street lamps aren't really illuminating the ground. It's the sky that's illuminating it. The sky's still quite bright. So the sunset here is actually 3 minutes past 10 on the longest day. So the sunset was only 20 minutes ago, and sunrise is 4:30 this far north, 4:30 in the morning. So the sun gets up quite early. So now the sunset, it will very slowly get darker, but it will never get completely dark. When you look outside on Midsummer's Day in Scotland, it's still always some light. It will get darker than this, but it will never get completely dark. So probably won't really be any stars tonight because the sky just doesn't go completely dark. As I say, it does get quite dark, but there's never pitch black. Further north where I used to live, it's even more pronounced. The sun goes down for just a few hours and then comes back up. And if you live right in the far north of Scotland, right on the Northern Isles and Shetland, I think the sun just scrapes just below the surface, and there's still a little bit of sunlight even at midnight, and it's famous up there for playing golf right through the night. So there we are, the darkest day. Double check the time, it's now 25 past 10, and as you can see, it's not really getting any darker. It's staying quite light out there. So although we have very long daylight hours here, and we have maybe 18 hours of light or daylight, and then never complete darkness in the summer, which is good for a lot of plants. You know, a lot of plants, the longer the daylight the better. The sunshine we do get is quite weak compared with the rest of the world, so we don't get really strong sunshine. You can still get sunburn and that, but it's nowhere near as strong as it is in the tropics. Midday, the sun still doesn't get to right up in the middle of the sky. It's still down a little bit, but it's still higher than it is in winter. So the long daylight hours and the weak sunshine is quite good for a lot of plants like lettuces, brassicas such as cabbage and kale and broccoli. Those kind of things do well in it. But when it comes to plants that need a lot of strong sunlight, Scotland's not so good for that. So a lot of the trees here grow slower. Things like beech, they won't ripen their nuts, they won't set seed. Things like horse chestnuts, they don't grow as large. And apple trees, you need to get the right variety so it ripens. And the same with our cherries. Our cherries ripen generally at the end of summer or autumn time, whereas I know in Switzerland they ripen in June, July. So it changes the seasons a bit, but there we are. It's a lovely summer's evening, nice blue sky, which is a bit of a rarity in Scotland. But there we are, Midsummer's Day, and as I say, we have nice long evenings. We never, basically, people in Scotland in summer never see darkness, because the few hours of darkness that there is, they're normally asleep. So you wake up and the sun's up, go to bed and the sun's up. It can be a bit strange going to sleep and you've got sunshine streaming through the windows at 10 o'clock at night. But generally it's so cloudy in Scotland we don't really get that much sunshine anyway, but you can get quite a lot of sun first thing in the morning, last thing at night, which can be a bit annoying if you want to go to sleep and it's still daylight outside. Your body's kind of telling you to go to sleep, but your body's telling you to stay awake, but you know it's so late you need to go to sleep. So for example, I have to get up early for work and it's nearly 10:30 at the moment, but you look outside and it's still bright, but that's it. So anyway, that's That's our long evenings. Other places get evenings like this, such as Alaska, Norway, parts of Russia as well. And that's just to show you how long our days are at the moment. And of course we get the complete opposite in winter. We have really short days. We just get the extremes of both.